Lots of wins. Hopefully, you guys got lots of wins to share with us today. All right, here we go. Lots of wins. There we go. All right, we are live. We like that. And we say hello, chat. And we are live. All right, let me, before I forget, start the recording. There's a nice. All right, all right. Hello, good morning, everyone. Hey, raise your hand if you know you got to do video in the network marketing arena. Raise your hand if you know this is something that needs to happen. All right, cool. So today is obviously TGIM. It's one of my favorite days of the week. This is your Monday Mastermind. We gather here every Monday, 12 Eastern Standard Time. For those of you that are watching in YouTube land there, if you want to join us live, feel free to join us. All you got to do is go into your nearest browser, type in thelosttransition.com/live, and you'll be able to join us right here. What we do is we meet every Monday at this particular point in time with fellow entrepreneurs and winners. And what we like to do is start off the show from those of you that are in the audience. We like to hear your wins. We like to celebrate your wins. We love to live vicariously through your wins. One thing that one of my mentors taught me is that you should celebrate other people's wins as if they were your own. That gets you in that right frame of mind, and you start being able to open up to be able to receive those types of gifts from the universe, if you will. So that's how the show goes. We've got some fun stored for you. I did mention before we started hitting the record key, this is week 20, and this is going to be how to deliver the best live video ever. So we're going to talk about some things today. Before we get that started, though, we are going to jump over to you guys and see. Tell me, who's got some wins that they want to share? I need some wins in my life. Raise your hand, whoever wants to go first. Let's get this party started. Let's get the blood and juices flowing. Who's got some wins? Well, yeah, I was gonna say, y'all better not be shy on me. Vicky, go ahead, dear. Good morning or afternoon. How are you doing?
Good morning and afternoon. It's right at the cusp. Oh, I've got lots of wins this week. I have so many follow-ups. I can't even hardly keep up with all of them.
That's
So
a
it's been
good
a little bit
problem to have.
overwhelming, but I'm doing my very best. I have successfully followed up with each one of them. So now it's the wait time period to see if they communicate back or not. So,
Yeah.
but I've had so much success with, I do multiple things, and I had really a lot of success with the one program that I do that's on health and wellness, and I'm so excited because um, I had posted on Facebook a post about getting samples,
Uh-huh.
free sample, and
Okay.
I got 33 leads from that. And
Wow.
I responded back to those 33 leads, asking them to verify their physical mailing address.
Right.
16 of the 33 responded back. So I sent them the samples. So now I'm in the waiting period of them being able to get it and try it and then contact them again. So it's interesting so far, but I love
Yeah.
it. I think those numbers are pretty good. So,
Those are fabulous numbers. That's over 50%. Immediately, my head already did the math.
and something clicked. I want to say like 2 Saturdays ago. I think we had our team coaching that week. But I just feel more confident, and I'm not as afraid to speak, and I just feel the growth happening inside of me, and I'm just really happy and grateful. And I thank you
That's
all.
awesome. Congratulations. I love those wins. I think if I know, I have a buddy of mine. I believe he's might be doing the same thing, and he's having some really good numbers like that too. So that business that you're working, that looks like it's a really good model for you guys to follow to be able to get those kind of numbers. Obviously, it doesn't mean that every single one of them are going to sign up, but if you got a 50% return ratio off of that and can get 10 to 20% of them to sign up, then hey, those are pretty decent numbers. So
I
congratulations,
just
bro.
want, I just need two.
Right,
I'm
right.
going for more than that, of course, but I just
Yeah,
need two and I'll be at platinum already.
I love it.
Hey,
Love it. Love it. Well, let's pray and put it out there to the universe that Vicky gets her two by the end of the week. And by next Monday, we'll be able to hear her say that she completed that goal and on to the next one. Congratulations, girl. Thank you for sharing. Oh, I
thank
love
you.
it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Thank you. Gene, what you got, brother? Talk to me about your wins.
Well, the first isn't necessarily a win, it's an observation.
Okay.
I get a lot of emails I've signed up for AI and other things, other tools I can learn from. And I started getting these emails last week from I Make Image. And I'm like, what the heck did I sign up for now? I got to figure out who that is. And finally, I come on here. I just got one today. And then I come on here, I make, oh, wait, that's Virgil.
Ah,
But I'm getting your
thank you for
emails, Virgil. I just
that.
haven't dug into them yet. Um,
That's
a
funny.
good win for us, myself, Lisa, Veronica, and Renee, my lady partners in crime. We're moving forward with what we're doing with this guy, Adam,
Good.
and the live selling. It's going to be a slow process because Adam needs to make sure that for one of the products that everything's in line, that the FDA can't come back and say, oh, no, 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 no.
Sure, sure.
It's a legit product, but he all his products, he makes sure that he has everything in order. Plus, for live selling, TikTok and all these other places, they have to have everything in order too. So, he's working on that. But we're already going to be working with him on his other company, um, uh, Genetic Lifespan, that does the one of them is the age code. Where hold on, I gotta do this or drive me nuts. I gotta tell it I'm speaking English. Genetic it has the age code. That's the blood test that you can send off, and it does 13 tests. It tests for just under 1 million different biomarkers and things, and it gives your age range of where you are versus where you probably should be at your age for all sorts of different things. It can be a 50-day page report up to the largest they've had is 223, and I said I'll probably beat it when I do my own. But uh, and it's tied to some products that they also offer. But we're looking big at getting this into doctors' offices because doctors like to bundle things together. Like doctors like to have a cash option. And what this blood test does, it helps them not have to practice medicine as much. That word practice, it helps them be able to get a report back that says, oh, here's the areas we need to focus in. Now we can run extra blood work on your kidneys or run extra things here, things like that. So it helps narrow down the spectrum. So I'm in the middle of doing a marketing asset just for doctors to give to the ladies to give out to doctors. They're going to be go visiting doctors. I won't be able to visit, but I'll be contacting them by email and things like that.
Sure.
So that's going real good. I had a domain, genebeer.net, that you and I talked about, Robert.
Right.
I'm working with ChatGPT on that. I've got a separate chat underneath my digital marketing project and got it all laid out using that new funnel system that I signed up for,
Yep.
building a web page for genebeer.net. And the whole idea that I've come up with is that's going to be about me and what I do and what I try to help people out with making some money online and things. And then it's going to give a big me on video. And then I'm going to start listing what I'm offering,
Love
which
it.
would be, like the age code or things like that.
Mhm.
And they'll be able to go to those separate funnels
Love it.
and decide whether they want to be a customer or watch a video, watch me and then watch a video on it, decide whether they be a customer or whether they want to be a business partner or affiliate.
Love it.
So I'm going to have that built out where people can take their choice of what they may or may not want to start with first. The whole idea is don't do everything. Just find one thing. Let's start off with that first. So the main website about be about me, and it'll link to other funnels for them to go do, including the 24/7 that just
Yeah.
came out, Autopilot 24/7. That'll be one of them. And so I'm working on that. I'm very excited about what's going on. And I paused my top 10 video because I want to make sure it's done very well.
Sure.
And I got to do a few extra things. I might have to go to the printers and print out some 5x7 cards like David Letterman used to have.
Yeah.
Let's say top 10 on them, and then I
Right.
can just
Sure.
write different things on them so I can toss them out of the way, whatever, and just kind of make it look, so I can do a series of that. Then I can do top 10s on menopause and
I
do top
love
10s
that
on
idea.
this thing.
Love it.
So I paused that temporarily to get my website going. I'm still trying to learn uh, the funnel system. Just started taking the training this morning on that to see
I
how
was
all
going to
that
ask
works.
about that. I was going to ask how's the learning curve over there?
Well, I just started today. They have so many. I mean, I think it's a few hundred templates to utilize.
Right on.
And I'm just now going through looking at the templates while I'm watching the video training. So,
Sure.
and it's gonna be slowly surely. And then also I made a video. Another win I think is a win is I used my Filmora and made that video that you saw, Robert,
Yeah, I liked it.
today, for got back up, and I changed it and added in the new Autopilot 24/7 link at the end of that. So
Love it. Bro, you're cooking over there. Look at you.
trying to
Cooking.
now I just got to get this out in front of people.
Yeah,
To get
yeah,
it
for
built.
sure. Yeah, but once you get it all done, because of all the thought and the process that you're taking, man, I'm pretty sure you're gonna knock it out of the park. And then with some of the tips that we're gonna talk about today, I'm sure those might come in handy as well. So
Oh yeah,
kudos to you,
definitely.
brother.
Thank you.
Our brother Gene is on fire over there. Way to make it happen, brother. Thanks for sharing. Jackie, you are up, my friend. Tell us all about it.
Well, good morning or afternoon, everyone. I've got a little win. So I've been talking to people 5 an hour. Managed to talk to 15 people.
Yes.
So I've got about 4 follow-ups. So I'm really happy at that.
How many what? Say that again, please. What?
Yeah, I've spoken to 15 people
Okay.
last week, and I've got 4 follow-ups, 4 meetings out of that. It might not come to anything, but at least I got four,
That's what we're talking about, though, right?
yeah,
Exactly that right there. But so you're telling me what we're teaching, what we're talking about, it's working for you.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, and tomorrow I've got some in-person events. So I'm going to try and aim to speak to at least between 20 and 25 people a week.
Oh, love it. I
Yeah.
absolutely love it. Congrats. Yeah.
Thank you. That's following the system, following your process.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you,
Yeah.
my friend. Jackie, thank you, thank you, thank you for being coachable. Thank you.
Thank you for coaching me. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for sharing. Thank you. Oh, that just warms my
Thank
heart.
you.
Gives me goosebumps. Keisha, what you got, girl?
Well, as I said before, I had my nephew had his first baby. She was a preemie, and it was a very difficult pregnancy. They actually life flew her out from the Virgin Islands while I was down there. So it was touch and go for quite a while. So now that Khalees is is all here. Had to have a lot of KY, so give me a minute. I had to kick it out. Now that she's out and fine and everybody's doing well, that's been awesome. We actually drove down to Miami and back in the day. We drove down, stayed for a few hours, and drove right back.
Mm.
And I have 2 comments. One, Jackie, the glow on your face is amazing. I can see that you are not as stressed as you have been the last few weeks,
Love
and
it.
that warms my heart. Like you do not understand.
Love it.
And Jean, as somebody who has to cram a lot of data into their head in short order, sometimes it helps to have a study buddy. You don't necessarily need a study buddy for all of it, but like I find somebody who likes a particular topic and I book an hour a week with them and we get to discuss whatever that portion of what I'm studying is, which allows the information to get from this part of my brain to this part of my brain. So I don't feel as overwhelmed trying to learn a whole lot of new apps at the same time.
I love that. Study buddies. Get you a study buddy. Thank you for sharing. I like that idea. I like that thought. In coinciding with that, yeah, you shouldn't be out there trying to do this all alone. If you are, then stop it. Stop it. Go get some help, get some friends, latch on to somebody that's okay with, helping you and teaching you, right? So definitely don't do it alone. Gene, what you got, brother?
Jackie inadvertently helped me remember something
Right on.
that we used to do at live networking events that we might be able to do in the Lost Transition group
Okay.
as a video. I don't know how to refer someone to Jackie. I don't know everything she does. I don't know how to refer someone to Rita
Sure.
exactly, because I don't fully grasp everything she's doing with the kids' money deal.
Mm-hmm.
So what we could each do is if we made a video, 2 or 3 minutes,
Sure.
it could be a couple of videos if you have different businesses, but do a video and put it in the Lost Transition Facebook group of who you are, what you do, the type of person you're looking for, and how your service can benefit that person. So we learn how to refer each other. So that if I have someone who, is possibly looking for money for their business and I understand what everything Jackie does, I could refer them to Jackie and then she can take off and run with that. So
I absolutely love that idea, Gene, and I'm totally open for that. When you started talking, I thought I knew where you were going with it. So I'm glad that I was surprised that it wasn't where I thought you were going with it. I used to do a show many years ago similar to this, but it was called the Business Power Hour. And what we did was we actually let people come up, give a quick little 2 to 3 minute spiel about what they did. But it wasn't how do I want to say it? It was very organized. It wasn't like, okay, everybody come in, throw their links, and it wasn't anything like that. It was similar to this, but we had conversation. People got to know each other. With anything in business like that, it's very important that you do show that side of yourself so people do get to know you and can build that relationship. So I love the idea, Gene. I'm totally open for doing that in the Lost Transition. If you want to create a video of yourself, Rita and I were actually talking on the side yesterday because of a 4 or 5 hour event that we were on yesterday. And what I liked about what the presenter did was he had some beginning slides that were pretty cool. So here's another idea for you guys. If you're not comfortable with video, but we are going to give some video tips here today, but you can also create a personal slide or two, right? That's what I was getting at, is that I saw and I talked to Rita. I was like, hey, I really like that idea. And it's something like, for me, when it comes to marketing, it's easy. I'll see something, oh, I like that. How can I incorporate that into my business as well, right? But make it your own, memo it out. Anyway, that's another idea that you guys can do. Have a slide with your picture and what is it that you do? Maybe key dates of how you got that information. For me, I was thinking about more of a, okay, started at 16 at this job, did this job, kind of going through my life's events and experiences. But it doesn't even have to be that, right? Hopefully you guys get some ideas off of what we're talking about. So either a video or a slide will work. So yeah, great idea, Jake. I love it.
And you could use either Zoom and record yourself on Zoom and do a presentation with your video together with a couple slides, or use Loom also to do the same thing.
Well, the one thing that I don't want to do, and we got to be careful of, Gene, and this just triggered because of what you're saying, is I don't want the Lost Transition to be some place where we're just out there pitching.
Oh yeah, no, not for pitching, just what you
Right.
do and how you could refer people.
Yeah, that's what I don't want. I don't want it to turn out to be a clown show,
No, I don't want that either. But yeah, but you could do, instead of just slides, you could do a combo is what I was getting at. And here's what I do, and I've been doing this for 34 years. And then
I like the idea. I'm
here's what I'm
totally
looking
open for it. Totally open, brother. Totally open. Keisha, what you got, my friend?
I'm thinking, piggybacking off of Gene's idea, I can add a referral page to my websites so that you can see other businesses that other like I can refer people to, well, I do Jackie already because I built her, so it's part of my site that you can go and get funding. It goes to
I
her site.
have, not to interrupt you, but I have a better idea because I can see already I've got to put a leash on this. I will only allow it if you have your own branded website. Haha. How do you like me now? All right. Is that fair to
Mhm.
everybody? It
Yep.
must go to KeishaJames.com or KeishaJames.now.site or RitaPinder.now.site or GeneBeard.com. It needs to go to your own. Fair? Does that make sense? Because I can see, like I said, I knew where he was going and thought I knew where he was going. He went this way, we went this way, and yeah, we got to keep a rein on that because that's, like I said, I don't want, okay, well, you can go here for this, that. No, just here's who I
No,
am. This is what I specialize in. If you want more information, go to my website, which is my branded domain. That's the way it should be. Cool.
yeah. Yeah, with mine, I was doing a I would be vetting anybody that I put on my referral page, of course.
Sure.
So it would be somebody like Jean or Rita or you, or I already have you
Totally
on my,
fine.
you know, I have you on my website.
Totally fine. I just want them to go to
Yeah.
your branded websites. That
Okay,
should be
cool.
clear and fair enough for everybody.
All
I
right,
don't want a
no
bunch
problem.
of like affiliate linking. We can't have that. If we have
Okay,
that, then it'll just be total anarchy. We're not trying to have that, like I said.
makes sense.
But appreciate y'all, and it's a great idea. I think that it'll be beneficial to help get the word out a little bit more, be able to help you guys, network with some of these other folks that are coming into the lost transition. And quite honestly, if you don't know, right, the premise behind there, and I'm glad we're having this conversation just so that we can be real with everybody. The lost transition, we created this over 3 years ago. So we've been doing these Monday masterminds for over 3 years now. And I'm pretty proud to say, pat myself on the back, hair standing up on my arm. I haven't missed not one day, right? Every single Monday. But we only just started putting it up on YouTube. I said, well, might as well to try to get more people involved, more people learn about it. But the whole intention with the lost transition is to be able to help people go from that job to freedom, is what I like to call it, so that they can come into a safe place, right, and come to these meetings, learn things, learn from whoever they can or whoever they most associate the best with. So definitely I'm totally open to that, but we got to have some standards. Let's make sure that we're all branded, because we all should be anyway as professionals, and we'll take it from there. Sound good? Awesome. Appreciate you guys bringing that up. Any other final? Yeah, she is.
I got one too.
Am I the final one?
No, I'm going after. I got to win too. I want to
Okay,
say it.
you go first.
No.
Wow.
She likes
Yes.
to go last, Virgil.
That's
I
my
don't mind.
that's my
I don't
standard
mind.
place.
Go
And
ahead.
I
you
don't
are
mind.
you are new here, so I will defer.
Mhm.
Your
And
standard place is in first place, Rita.
actually, that's part of my win. Actually, being here because first I want to thank you guys for doing this and for letting me in. Even if some others would say I deserve my place or whatnot, thank you very much for letting me in this community because it represents the crossroad that I am at currently, as you all know, right? I am at that last transition. I am actually making that step from job to freedom, right? Out of the skills that I know that I have, right? So that is actually one of the wins for me, being here and making sure that that's going to be a consistent presence, right? Second, Gene actually celebrated one of my wins, the second win, the fact that the transition can be complicated depending on how you embrace it. And when I came last week, Robert had that piece being in the zone, right? And I wanted to stay in the zone. And I am in the zone right now, and I want to stay in this zone. So being able to reframe myself and keep the rhythm that I had before the recent event arise and still be here and doing this and seeing the future in it as well. That's a big win for me, right? So that was the two major wins on top of everything that is still happening on the terrain here, because I'm doing this in this digital space, but I'm also on the terrain here with the same type of approach, and being able to keep all those rhythm is really something that is keeping me driving. And you guys are also that fuel behind me. So thank you for that. You guys are part of that win. And on the last note, I wanted to say, nobody talked about just posting the digital cards in the lost transition group so that everybody can present themselves, have a description about their, hey, I'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be talking about, nobody said, I was like, you saw me, I was like, somebody's gonna say it. It's just that.
I love
The
that.
digital card would have everything, plus the video, plus the clear offer. And if the offer is not clear, then whoever has that digital card in that needs to make sure that that conversation is revisited. It's the simplest
Touche.
asset that we've been discussing. Nobody mentioned it. You guys,
Touche.
if you guys should be running laps. Right? Give me 10 push-ups or something. I'll see you tomorrow. But
Oh, I
again,
love it.
thank you guys for
Love it,
having me.
love
And
it, love it. Thank
I
you,
lo-
Virgil, for
I love
being
it
here.
all.
That just warms my heart, brother. You heard the man. Like you said, it needs to have your digital business card on it. It needs to be branded to you. Let's go.
That's it. The bottom line.
Oh, I love it. We got to set some standards around here. Oh, I love it. Thank you, Virgil. Appreciate you being here, brother. Go ahead, Rita. Follow that.
And okay, so yes, I love that digital business card. I don't have because you put videos in yours and we're kind of looking like, yours. So I do definitely love that. And I think as a suggestion, I think that's great putting it in the group, but maybe making that a requirement, kind of sort of like when you join the group, instead of just saying welcome, hello, post your digital business card. And that way we know. And Jean, all we have to do is have conversations. That's all. And then you'll know exactly what I do. All right. So my win is, let's see. I'll start with Saturday. I told you the week before that I had a speaking engagement. And so that was this Saturday past. I was invited to be a panel for women entrepreneurs. And I had a wonderful time. The most beautiful thing was I was I don't want to say oldest, most experienced, I'll say, person on the panel. I represented the generation far to the right, or was it the left? But there's another one. And and then we had the youngest one that was like 23 years old, which was kind of interesting. And then we had one that was a millennial, and then the other one was somewhere in between the millennial and the 23-year-old. But it was really interesting for the different perspectives and some of the things that are the same and some that are different. And it was a great experience. So I had fun. I used my humor that I learned from Blakester. And, that just seems to help me and to relax everybody so much that it was a lot of fun. Even my entrepreneur intro, that when they ask you to do your 2-minute elevator speech, elevator pitch, I don't do that. Everybody does that, and I'm different, and so I have to take a different approach. It feels natural for me. And what I do is I become, and this again came from Blakester, was the level 1 listening. And I ask questions. And then I ask to set an appointment. And that's all I do. But I learn about them first because people love talking about themselves. As you can tell, I love talking about me. So that's that was the most fun. But I was a contributor. And after that, I gave them a suggestion about having more people because their organization is very large, but they didn't have as many people as they could. So I gave them some suggestions and they want to have lunch. So I'm meeting them next month and then we'll get their next event that will be going on later in the year and get them, probably mostly on board. But I did find I got like 9 different connections that I was able to talk to afterwards. And I see some prospects for Now Site and maybe some other products as well. So I was excited about that, definitely excited. And I will do my video today for Money Mastery from Munchkins. So my goal is to do one every 5 days, one every day. So keep me accountable.
Love it. Love it. I'm looking forward to them.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for sharing. I love the fact that you're now like, I don't know, you did Toastmasters. Are you going to start doing more speaking engagements now?
Hey, they're the ones that pay, so I'm in. I don't care. What do you want me to talk about? I can talk about
There you
stuff.
go. You're going to pay me to speak? Sure. Why not?
That came back around the pandemic, at the beginning of the pandemic,
Mhm.
and one of the women that I ended up working with, she said, "Why don't you just monetize your mouth?" And I was like, "What? Tell me more."
Oh,
So
well,
that's how that started. And I just, things that I can talk about, but I
no.
really makes a lot of sense. And then somebody years ago told me, he said, "You're not asking enough."
Mhm.
So I was like, okay. So I started revisiting that. And it's fun. That's how the other event with the moderator came up. That was a referral.
That's
So
awesome.
everything is being referred, which I like. I don't have to advertise.
That's even better. Third party
Yeah.
word of mouth advertising is the best, hands down. Right. It's something that you kind of remind me of, and I say it all the time to people that I talk to just every day. I am not that person that works with my hands. I'm not. I am not that person. Can I go out and build something? I'm sure I probably can. Can I, get something from IKEA and put it together if I've got instructions? Sure. Do we read instructions? No, man, we don't. But we can still put it together, right? Can I do those things? Yes. You know where I make the most money? With this and this. Don't get dirty, ladies. All right. But yeah, with my mouth and my brain, that's how I make my living. So yeah. Just say, man, monetize what you got.
You should
But
went off camera
keep
for
it,
a reason.
keep it rated G and out of jail, all right? And hello and welcome, Sherwin. Appreciate you popping in. Gene, what you got, brother?
Rita, be careful with them wanting to have lunch with you now. You might end up in charge like Doria is with her veterans group. So
Mm.
As long as they pay, I'm okay.
that's it. Yeah.
Oh, and
That
since
that
you
sounds
did
like a great
mention
slogan.
since you did mention Dorea and she couldn't be here today, I will mention her win. We worked together yesterday, some one-on-one. She got her group figure out for the lady veterans, and she learned from me how to do some cool graphics with Chat GPT. Got herself a really awesome banner, taught her a little bit about logos and how you don't really want that wider black background in the back. Try to have it transparent so you can put it on different colors. So she had some wins. She was really excited, but unfortunately, she couldn't be here today. She's busy taking care of all the lady veterans and all that fun stuff. So go ahead, Keisha.
Last one, I swear.
Uh-huh.
I have a heck of a win. I am 51 years old, and for the first time, my mother actually gave me a referral.
Who did?
My mother did. My mother
All
does not
right.
support Jack.
Right on.
She gave me a full-on referral to tutor somebody and get them set up in business and get it all taken care of.
Gotta
And
love
she
it.
did it. She actually did most of the speaking. So
I
it's
love
not that she doesn't know what I do, it's just that she just stays off in the corner.
Sure.
But I swear, the
Congrats.
first time I even heard a compliment from my mother, I was 35 years old, and I can literally count them on my hands. So
That's
that's
pretty
actually
big.
saying something.
I love that. That's pretty big. That's awesome. Okay, Rita, go ahead. Y'all are gonna push me back on my time, by the way.
Okay, so I just wanted to commend Jackie and Jean and Vicky for, you know, and I say this every week, and it's always good to see, because that means that, well, this is on a selfish side, it's helping Blakester to validate what he offers is working. And we get to become those people that go out there and say, you know, hey, like, this guy's great. I'm growing, I'm learning, and that all that stuff takes time. It's not like add instant water like stovetop stuffing. So it takes a minute. And once you get it and you start running with it, you know, success is whatever you deem it to be. It's not necessarily a monetary one. Mine isn't necessarily a monetary one, but hey,
Very
I
true.
get paid, I'm good. But so I think I'm just super proud of you, and I'm so glad that we're in the same group, same cohort, same lost transition group. So
Yeah.
appreciate all of you, because you help all of us to see and help us grow as well. So thank you.
I love and appreciate that. And on that note, I'm going to say it's shake and bake, and I helped. That's a perfect transition to what we're going to talk about today. We got to
I
give
thought
you the... What's that?
My youngest sister used to say that, and I helped. Just for us.
It just goes to show
I
you
think you
how...
just dated all of us that understood what that was.
Well, you know what this should show is how marketing is so impactful in our lives, right? I can sit here and I can dig up commercials from my past when I was a kid, right? If anybody's from California and they know about go see Cal, go see Cal, go see Cal, you'll know what I'm talking about.
2 a.m. 2 a.m.
Absolutely, absolutely. But look, what I want to talk to you guys today about and share with everybody, this is week 20. I want to talk about how to deliver the best live video ever. At the very beginning of the program, we raised our hands. Every single one of us raised our hands. Ooh, and as I say this, I'm getting big time goosebumps that we know that we have to do video, especially if we're in the network marketing arena. At some point in time, we're going to have to step into our power, break those fears, and do it. And I really wish Catherine was here. I don't know what happened to her today because she's come out of her shell, and I wish she was here because I would have liked to have heard her talk a little bit about this. If you don't know Catherine, she's been coming to the show, and she's also part of the Inner Circle team trainings that we have. She started doing videos the other day, guys, and I was like, yes, yes. It got me excited. I can't even tell you as a coach, like how excited I was. It literally almost brought a tear to my eye. I'm not even lying. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to talk a little bit about that and say, hey, look, you don't have to be perfect on video. And obviously we don't know everything when we first start, but there's a point where we had to learn these different things, right? I want to start off too by saying I'm by no means, shape, form, or sitting up here on my soapbox trying to pretend that I'm an expert in video. Not doing that. All right. What I am going to do is I'm going to talk about my personal experiences and what I have learned. Some of this stuff might be depending on your level. You might already know these things. If not, you're going to learn some things. Make sure you take notes, and we trust that you get some value out of this, right? So the key definitions and things that I want to talk about and bring to everybody's attention are 5 different things really that we're going to focus on or talk about. And then we're going to get some speaking points. And then I've got a few questions. We're going to try to wrap this up in a quick and efficient manner because we already went 10 minutes over into the time that we normally like do this engagement information here. Okay. So big thing we want to think about is this video information or creating videos. What are we doing it for? Obviously, we need a purpose, but really the first thing that we want to talk about is engagement, right? We want to talk about engagement because video can and will help you with the engagement that's actually on your page. And I do want to premise this, and you guys know me very well. You know what I'm going to say already. I do have a love-hate relationship with Facebook. Many times when I go live, they don't push that to my friends. That's not me. I mean, that's not you guys, that's me. So because I'm having issues doesn't mean that you will have issues, just to be clear. But engagement is very important for you to at least occasionally, maybe if it's even once a month or once a week, even better, right? To go out there and do some type of video and see what type of engagement is out there on your profile, right? This is an easy way for you to go and help you gauge whatever your audience is like, what they dislike, especially if they interact with your video because of you being live and or because of the questions that you ask within your video if they're watching it on a recorded, right? So that being said, there's layers to this, just like there is in everything network marketing related. So we do want to think about what our ultimate message is, what our ultimate goal is before we start, so that we can think about what is the type of engagement that we're going to bring. Second thing that I want to bring to everybody's attention is call to action, right? If you don't have any kind of call to action, the person's never going to do anything. They might get value out of it, but if there's never a call to action, then they're just going to sit there like, okay, now what? Right? So your call to action doesn't necessarily have to be that you send them to a delivery page or a page for them to buy, right? A call to action could be something as simple as have the best day that you've ever had. Sounds cheesy, but it can be, depending again on what your video entails. Is it educational? Is it motivational? Or is it, something that you're out there trying to sell something? There's different types of videos that you can create, right? The next thing that I want to bring to everybody's attention to make sure we think about is what's called framing. Okay. Now, I know some of these terms only because of, again, my experience. So, a little bit about that. When I was in junior high, I took theater arts, 3 years of that, absolutely loved it. Took drama and theater arts, and I wanted to be an actor. That's what I wanted to be. Beyond being an architect and drawing houses and stuff, I wanted to be an actor. Some of you that know me very well know that I got the pleasure of being an extra in the movie From the Earth to the Moon. It was actually filmed out there in Florida. Some of the best times of my life. But that's where I kind of learned and saw some of this framing stuff was in school and also on the set to understand some of this stuff. Now, when it comes to framing, you're normally going to have two things. One is going to be what we call landscape, which is sideways, and then the other one is going to be called portrait. Right? Those are the two main ones that you want to think about and that are there. So you want to think about, how am I going to frame myself? You need to consider too, if I'm on the cell phone, well, if I'm holding my cell phone like this, then that's going to be what we call the portrait mode versus holding my camera like this, which is called landscape. Okay. Super easy things that you can remember. Again, these aren't complicated, but the things that maybe you haven't heard of or maybe you haven't thought of. The fourth thing that I want to talk about is authenticity. Okay. Be yourself, be real, be relatable. But some of you guys know how I say, like, owning the message. What that simply means is whatever that message is that you're delivering, do your best to get out of your head and just speak from the heart, right? So many times we get caught up in being afraid to do the video because we don't know what to say, or we'll write something down and we'll go from a script when really the script is okay because it gives you something to get started with, get your nerves out of the way, if you will. But I'm telling you, if you take that script, read it over like actors do, like people in professional commercials do, read it over and over at least 3 times and do it out loud so you can hear your total inflections, see where you're going with it, but practice with it and then drop the script. Drop the script, get out of your head, get into your heart, be authentic. Okay. Now, the big thing that we need to think about when it comes to these videos, whether it's live or even recorded, is retention. That just simply means how long your viewers are sticking around during the live. So I can tell you, Rita is a witness. She knows we've done this before. We've done live trainings before that lasted 6 hours, my friend. 6 hours. Can you imagine? You ever been on a 6 hour webinar / training? We've done it. And the beautiful thing was the retention was there for everybody to stay the entire 6 hours. Why? Because it was good information, just like what we're talking about now. It retained them there because it was knowledge that they thirsted for and they found a value. So we need to think about that too. Does my video have any value in it? Or am I just like, hey guys, I just wanted to come live to you today because, we're like, you have to have some kind of thought into it. The better the thought, and kind of like what we're talking about with Gene, he's planning this out, man. If you could plan it out, then the results could potentially be better. I don't want to say that, he could be TikTok famous, jokingly, but truthfully, but you never know, right? If you go and you do a video to where it changes the person, makes that person laugh, because that's really what's in and what's really working. I don't know if y'all are paying attention or not, scrolling through your feed, looking at the ads where they're talking about making funny ads, right? It goes back to the psychology that I talk about in changing that person's state. So those are the 5 things there that we need to think about when we're talking about key definitions. Engagement. What is the engagement going to be? Call to action. What is the call to action within our video? Hey, like, follow, subscribe as another example. What is the framing? Is it landscape or is it portrait? Are we coming to the video live like ourselves, authentically ourselves, truly authentically ourselves? And what about the retention? Are we thinking about having them watch to the very end? Because we all know, if we've been around me long enough, we all have the attention span of gnats, right? Or squirrels. Squirrel. So you have to be able to start the video, hook that person, give them the information, and have them go to the very end, then give them a call to action. That's what we're going for. So here's some speaking points that I'm going to talk to you about. Number 1, start strong. Okay. So what that means is within the first 5 seconds, you should have what we call a hook. I did it this morning when we started. I don't know if you guys noticed or not, but remember when I said, hey, raise your hand if we all know that we need to do video? Did anybody notice that? Raise your hand if you noticed. If you didn't, now you know, right? So start off strong, a hook that's going to give them, get them hooked into whatever the video is. Prime example is what I just said. Or you can say something like, most people screw this up. Don't be one of them. There's another great example. They're like, what do you mean? What do they screw up? It's, as Rita and I love to comment about, it's the Tom and Jerry effect. It piques that person's interest. And really, that's what we're trying to do. If we can pique somebody's interest and get them interested and involved in what it is that we're doing, now they're coming to you instead of you going out there to them and you wildly chasing them around like Tom chases Jerry. Okay. So start strong. That's the first thing to write down if you're taking notes. Grab that hook. Have a hook so that you bring them in. Number 2, look and sound professional. Now, I'm going to talk about this for just a moment because we all know we all start somewhere. Most of us start at the very bottom. We don't have a cool snowball like me. But look, this mic really wasn't that expensive. Did it take me some time to get the money up to get it? Did I start with something just basic? Yes, I did. I totally started just like you or anybody else would. Started on my phone, started with just low quality, started using my MacBook Pro. And believe it or not, the mic on this one, Gene will tell you, sucks. Right? So I started off just like everybody else did, just with basic stuff. But little by little, I started acquiring more equipment so that I started getting better and better with my videos. Obviously, you see, I've got my own office now. That's a big difference. What I have even on my wall behind me is there purposefully. Okay. Now, and I'm not saying anything because some of us have the green screen effect in the background, right? Sometimes you might have the green screen. Sometimes that might be good for for your stuff that you're doing in the background, but not always appropriate, right? So we need to think about those couple of little things there too. These lights that you might see barely, if I tip my head up this, you see the glare from the lights. They're big lights. They're photo lights for people that take photography. Like I said to myself, oh man, I looked in my office. I'm like, okay, well, there's not enough lighting in here. I eventually got me a lighting kit. Again, I'm not telling you you have to go out there and spend all this money, but little by little upgrade your equipment. The lighting kit that I got, I think it was like maybe 120 bucks on Amazon. Gave me these 2 lights that I have here, another 4 umbrella lights. It gave me a green screen, a white screen, and a black screen, and the frame. Like it was worth the money, worth the investment. But really, I'm only using these 2 lights at the moment. If I need to now, hey, if I want to up my production quality, guess what? Add more lighting, right? Just a couple little quick tips. Again, I just want to go from my experience. I'm not an expert. I'm not creating viral YouTube videos out there or anything like that. But this is just some of the things that I've learned. Okay. So you do want to look and sound professional. It's very important. And why I said this whole background thing, it's very important for you to pay attention to this. Because whether you believe it or not, like I say it all the time, pretend everybody is watching. And the sad part about human people is sadly we're quick to judge, which is very important for us to think about and know, because if we don't look the part in the video, right, again, that goes back to us making that first impression. So we want to make sure if we're going to be on video, we think about it, have a clear message, have all those things we talk about, have that clear call to action, and think about overall, what is the production value? Do you think that I spent some time before coming to this meeting and knew what I was going to talk about? Do you think that I had some notes that I could refer from if I needed to? Hint, right? A few little tips here that we're talking about. So lighting, pay attention to your lighting, especially even if you're outside. You want to be very careful about direct sunlight, especially photographers will tell you, right? Be careful with direct sunlight. Second, you see sometimes my hands move. Do you see sometimes I make funny faces at you? Use hand gestures and facial expressions. That's what I'm getting at. That also helps you be more authentic, right? And if you learn to use your hands, believe it or not, this is an actual language. And I'm not talking about sign language like A, B, C. It's been so long since I did it. I'm talking about nonverbal communication, or what we call kinesthetics, right? If you're moving your hand from time to time based off of what you're saying, that will also keep that reader or that viewer in tune. Many times it's like, okay, well, what's that person going to do next? So lighting, clear, crisp mic audio, as we mentioned earlier, that Gene loves my snowball, but doesn't love my MacBook Pro. And then ultimately, too, a quiet environment if you can find it. Right? So that's number 2, look and sound professional, lighting, clear mic, quiet environment. Energy matters. Number 3, your energy level, just like you see mine, has to be at a specific level. But I need to be very clear with you so you understand this. This is something that I've talked about in the 5-day boot camp training, but I haven't talked about this in a long time. Rita will vouch for me on that. Your level of excitement needs to be just like this, what I'm going to tell you. If you look at what we call a tonal scale, the tonal scale goes from 0 to 10. Okay. 0 is dead. there's nothing there. 10 is, oh my God, I'm freaking out over here. Okay. 5 is right in the middle, what I like to call disinterest. So whenever you're doing a pitch, if you're having a video, and pay close attention. I'm giving you some gold nuggets right here. When you're doing a video, and if you're doing a presentation, you should be right around a 5.5. You do not want to be so excited, be like, oh my God, I can't wait to show you that. Because that overexcitement will kill the deal for you in many cases. The moment that you get to a 7 on that total scale, expect to lose people. Okay. Very important that you understand this gold nugget that I'm telling you right now. In between that 5 and 6.5 is right at that cushy point where you want to be. So there will be some total inflection. There will be some excitement, but then you also have to make sure you reel that back in so that you're not like that overexcited little puppy, that wants to pee on the floor because you're so excited. Because if you do that, that's how people go and talk themselves out of it. They get too excited, too much information, and then the person's like, whoa, right? Now they want to back up. So pay close attention to those things. Again, this is gold that I learned straight off the streets. So energy matters. Talk slightly faster than normal. You have to think about that too. What I like to talk about is it's understanding, we talk about communication, especially around me a lot. You have to understand that there's times to talk really fast, and then there's other times based off of your timing to where you will literally elongate your conversation or the expression or the information that you want to provide. Did I do a good job at that? Did you feel the emotion? Do you feel that transference of energy? Because that's what a sale is, my friends. And you can do it just with the total inflection. If you guys, I'm telling you, here's another one. You guys really understand tonal inflection and how it works? You can defuse people that are pissed off, right? Match their tonal scale and then just slowly but surely drop that tonal scale, baby. When you drop it real low, gives people a good, warm, fuzzy feeling, right? And then moving on, smile and show some enthusiasm. If you're not smiling and having fun, then what do you think your viewers doing, right? They're probably not enjoying it at all. And I can tell you from somebody that's coached and trained and all this other fun stuff for many, many years, you also have to be about 2 notches higher than what it is that you're teaching, because everybody that's there is only going to absorb a certain percentage of what you're dropping. So if you make it more fun and entertaining for those people, just like we are now, we're asking you to take notes, they're going to get more value out of it. Okay. So smile, show some enthusiasm. Number 4, because we're over time. Appreciate y'all sticking around. We used to do these for 2 hours every Monday. Can you imagine? All right. Structure, clarity. As I mentioned before, what is that video even going to be about? Do we have a hook ready? As far as structure, we should have some kind of quick introduction. Who are you? And what is it that you're going to cover in this video? Think about it when you go on YouTube, especially those that are really good at YouTube and are a bit monetized. How does the intro start? Hey, I'm so-and-so. In today's video, we're going to cover such and such. Let's go. Right? They do that cool little camera effect. They bring their hand to the thing, and then boop, next thing you know, they're in, I don't know, where were you at, Keisha? Off of some deserted island, right?
Virgin
Okay.
Islands.
They do one of those and boom, they're in the Virgin Islands. You can do cool little things like that. But have a quick intro. What is it? What is it that you're covering? What are maybe 3 main points that you can give, or 3 tips? And I'm saying this too because, as an example, I create video all the time, and I'm in some groups and with these video creators, and they're constantly, we're passing back and forth. Hey, what do you think about video? Right? And it's a good way for us to get feedback. And there was a gentleman that put one out the other day, and I like to give my constructive professional feedback. And if it doesn't keep me in the loop for 3 minutes, well, then number 1 is too long, or you miss something within that 2 to 2.5 minute to keep me hooked. And I tried to explain this to the gentleman. He took great criticism. But if you're doing a video, and this is not to say that your top 10 won't work, Gene, because top 10s do work. Be careful with the length of that video. And if you're going to do a top 10, make sure that you announce, hey, it's a top 10. And I'm saying this for a reason, again, not pointed at you, but it was almost like he was showing 10 different products, but the video was the same, the character was the same, stayed on the same side. There was no changing up within the video. Now, I'm not talking about a live video, obviously. I'm talking about one that was created. Like, even those little things have to be thought of. What is that structure? But what are the 3 main points or tips? People do really good if you have like a top 3, a top 5, or a top 10. But say it at the beginning of your video. Hey, like as Gene's going to probably do. Hey, this is Gene, and I'm here with the top 10 for yada, yada, yada. That's that hook that's going to get them involved. And then as long as he goes through those motions and does a really good top 10, makes people laugh, they're going to be engaged for that whole thing because they want to see what's the top tip. Get it? Cool. So 3 main points or tips. Make sure you notify, like if it's going to be 5, say 5 in the title. If it's going to be 10, say 10. And then wrap it up at the very end with a powerful call to action. Right? Whether it's follow me, get my ebook, whatever the case may be. Number 5, engage live viewers. It's okay to ask questions. This is what I'm talking about earlier. Like, ask questions throughout your presentation so that those people that are there are engaging, so that they are more involved. If you never ask them questions, then all they're doing is just sitting there watching the content. If you get them involved, that's a different level. It's literally on a different level of communication, because now you're actually communicating back and forth versus you saying one thing and them not saying anything, right? So engage the live viewers by asking questions. Say their names when you're responding to the comments. Yeah, I totally see it there, Rita. If I was paying attention to the comments and could. So those are just a few little things, right? Asking questions, saying their name when they're responding. We've been conditioned since birth to respond to our names. Use the first name, not sir or ma'am, because we don't want to be subservient. And then create moments like, hey, if this is hitting home, type fire in the chat. Drop a 1 in the chat if you're feeling what I'm throwing down. Drop a I'm in, right? Number 6, call to action that converts. We talked about the call to action, but what is that call to action that's going to actually convert? Is it directly consistent with the messaging within the video? Very important for us to think about that. And as I mentioned before, it can be something as simple as having them subscribe or follow you on social media, right? The key thing and reason why I want to harp on this for just a moment before we wrap it up and finish is because that's where your audience is. That's what we have to build as network marketers, that a lot of people don't get it. It's our audience. So we have to physically go out there and attract our tribe. I'm sure most of us have heard that terminology, right? Well, that's one way we can do it, by putting out videos like that and say, hey, if you like this content, you want more, make sure you like and subscribe so that next time I go live, you get it first. Make it seem like it's special for them, right? If you can make somebody feel good about something that they just did, then they'll love you forever. They'll keep coming back, right? So make it engaging, talk to them, use their name. Number 7, last but not least, replay is content too. Here's the big one, right? Here's the big one. I see Virgil was waiting for me to say that, right? If you go and you do that, especially if you do, as an example, something like this, we do an hour show or 2-hour show, you could take it. There's things like CapCut out there. There's all these other apps that you can go and do, or even put it into your own video editor and chunk it up, make different pieces. Rita knows I've made quite a few pieces from old videos that myself and Brett used to do. And I was doing that for a while after he passed because I wanted to keep that memory alive. And even some of those, there's two of them that came out specifically where he was talking on a live and he said just some beautiful things about me. And I've saved that content, you know. Those are like gold testimonials to me. Right. So those are 7 things that we can think about. Start strong. Just to recap, start strong, look and sound professional. Your energy is going to matter. Make sure you have some kind of structure. Engage in the live viewership when you see them. Make sure that you have a strong call to action. And then don't forget using that replay as extra content too. So I trust that you all got some value out of this. And I want to end with saying another friend of mine, I can't call him a mentor because I'm not personally being mentored by him. However, I did go to, well, I don't know, maybe I could say that because I did pay money to go to one of his shows and let him hypnotize me. The guy's name is Marshall Silver. He's known online as the Millionaire Maker. He's been on David Letterman and all these other places. He's just absolutely fabulous. And in fact, when I see him on stage, I can't help but see my face on his, like, see myself in that thing. Anyway, he talks about the 3 E's, and I want to share that with you finally. Write these down. The 3 E's are this: entertain, educate, and empower. So if you have those 3 things within your videos, right? All those little things that we talked about, but you entertain them, you educate them, and you empower them, you will have the best live video ever. So that's the information I wanted to share with you. I trust you guys got some value. Open it up for any questions that you guys have. Like, here's one thing that I can throw out to the table and we can wrap it up. What tip today gave you the biggest aha moment? Anyone want to care to share? My head's got cold. No?
Be authentic was mine, right? Because often enough we try to reinvent ourselves too much, and being authentic is the simplest act to follow, right? Sometimes like I said, I'm bouncing ideas quickly and trying to run them on the floor as I go. So that was an aha moment for me. Just be authentic.
Good, I
That's it.
love it. You guys get some value out of this today? I trust. Good. Keisha, go ahead.
The hand gestures and facial, because I have a tendency to use my agent. I created a video. I can make my avatar say whatever I want, and I show whatever background is appropriate for whatever it is I want her to say. But she has no motion. She literally, my hands are clasped. I am talking into the camera. So I actually had it in my mind to do 3 new videos because I can have up to, as long as it's still me, I can have up to 100 different frames, right?
Right.
So I was gonna do one where I'm sitting, one where I'm outside, one where I'm whatever, but be more lively because the one that's there is very, very monotone.
I love that.
So,
Hey, if we
but
encourage you to do 3 new videos, we did our job. We did something good here.
yeah. So I mean, I got in the habit of after I get off the phone with a client, I send a 30-second Loom video thanking them for their time.
I love that.
Yeah.
Take note. That's a gold note. Hey, gold nugget. She just dropped. Hello, hello.
Yeah. I mean,
A
Loom
quick
is
little
free.
video. Hey,
So,
thanks for your time. I really had a blast. That
yep.
goes a long way.
Yeah, because I used to do it via text, and I had a gentleman tell me, try doing it with video instead and see what happens. And it
Absolutely.
actually, I get a lot of feedback on it. So,
Huge difference. Huge difference.
yeah,
On that note, as I teach you guys, right, I do things a little bit differently than most people do. So there's a lot of times that I'll get, as an example, somebody will say, "Well, you're not going to pitch me." Like, what do you mean I'm not going to pitch you? Well, because everybody that connects with me pitches me. I'm like, you have to be different than what everyone's doing. And if you pick up
yeah,
little gold nuggets like this and what we're talking about that everybody's adding such value to, man, you're just going to become unstoppable. That's just how it's going to happen. So, love it.
yeah.
Thank you for. Gene, what you got, brother?
Oh, just a couple things. Number one, you're hitting so many points that I learned in professional wrestling,
Love it.
and being cutting promos, stuff like that. When we did promos, sometimes you're just standing there, and they're coming back from intermission, and the matchmaker walks by and say, "Hey, go cut a 30-second or a 2-minute promo about next week. Talk about A, B." No script. Nowadays it's all scripted, but no script. And I had to walk out there and go cut that 2-minute promo and talk about A and talk about B. So it's all bullet points. That's how I do my videos now. When you see me do some videos of my own, I've got bullet points written out. And I'll do, if I'm recording on whatever I'm recording on, half the screen is the video recorder, the other half of the screen is my Word document where I'm just scrolling through with my arrow on my keyboard. Nobody even knows it. And there's my next point. Now I can talk for 30 seconds about that bullet point. If I try to do a script, now I'm reading and and I'm not the best oral reader. So that helps me out greatly. Couple other things is your reels.
Real quick, hold on to that thought. I want to echo that because something that I didn't say while we were doing this that you brought up a conversation is exactly that. Be very careful if you do have a script. Not that it's a bad thing, and I don't mean to point anybody out. Catherine, yes, I love you. I'm talking about you. But be careful, because if you're using a script, what I do see you doing is doing a lot of this. This is kind of one of the things that we were talking about to Vicky when she started, this journey, and she started getting better at owning the message, right? Have bullet points if that's what you do, but just be careful. Have the bullet point to where it's about eye level as your camera. I didn't talk about that too much. Another thing that I did was I worked for a company called Total Audio Visual Services over there in Florida. Rita, you might have heard of them. I don't know. They're called TAVs. Anyway, they do all the lighting and production there for Hollywood and Orlando, all over the area. But even things like that, like this right here, is a different setting than what you would set up a professional camera. As an example, if we're doing the AI avatar. For AI avatar, your standard distance of measurement is going to be 6 feet apart from where your camera is going to be, slightly above eye level. So think and consider about all those things we talked about, as well as where you're going to put whatever those bullet points are. Just be very careful not to have to look too far up, too far right, or down, left or right, or whatever that. So thank you, Gene. Please continue your thought.
And that's why, like I said, is I put the recording up top. My webcam's up here, got the recorder on top, and everything's here. And I might flip it now just talking about it, because if my words are closer to the webcam, then I'm looking more at the webcam. So thank you for that. If you're focusing on Facebook for your videos, don't be afraid to record reels in horizontal. So I don't know if you've noticed that there's lots of reels now that show up horizontal, and you're like this, looking at the reels, you're scrolling, you see, oh, and I can turn it this way. Now it's widescreen. So don't be afraid of doing that. Now, YouTube isn't there yet. I don't know about Instagram, so I'm not on Instagram enough to know. It's owned by Meta, so it probably does the same thing. So, but and then last thing I wanted to mention was you were absolutely right. Is I used to have my light right here in front of me when my webcam was over here. This on the laptop, and there was always a glare. And I don't know if it was you or someone else who mentioned raise it up at a 45-degree angle. That way now I have to fight to get the glare, So if you got the lights, prop them up high. Mine's up on its stand way up high in the corner here. That way you don't get that constant glare or two little rings on your glasses.
Especially when you're wearing glasses, right?
And well, even people who don't wear glasses, sometimes that glare is just right there in their eyeball.
Right.
And
right.
it's what's the word I'm looking for? Shoot. It takes my attention away sometimes.
Distracting.
Distracting. Thank you.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know why I can remember that word. But anyway, yeah, it's very distracting. I'll focus on, why has he got white eyes?
Yeah.
So But anyway,
What's wrong with this person? Their eyes look funny.
yeah, and that is one other thing too, is I don't know if you actually mentioned it or not. You mentioned your background, stuff like that. Try not to have things that's going to take people's attention away.
For sure.
I was having YouTube videos play of streams or something out in the background,
Mhm.
but then someone else mentioned that I'm focusing on the beauty back there. I'm not focusing on what you're talking about.
Right.
You know,
Unless
that's why I
you're
do my
using it.
webcam here.
If you're using it, that's a different story. But yeah, you're totally right with saying that. Like,
Yeah,
honestly, like we could sit here and we could have 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 hour conversations about video, but I didn't want to make it that long.
exactly.
But I'm glad though, like these are all valuable tips, man. And I trust everybody got some value from hanging out with us today. I always get value from you guys every Monday. You know, just the simple fact that I get to come up here and converse with you guys every Monday, it just makes my week. So TGIM, another amazing week. 20 weeks out already, guys. Where is the time flying? Where is the time flying? So anyway, appreciate each and every one of you guys being here. Let's go out there and let's kick ass. Let's take some names. Let's go get some wins so that we have more to celebrate next Monday. Trust you guys got some value.